At my parents' anniversary dinner, my mother joked in front of everyone that my sister had a crush on my husband. When the table laughed, I finally confronted them, until my husband said one calm sentence that drained the color from my mother's face. We almost didn't go. I'd spent 3 days staring at my parents' anniversary invitation before Mark finally picked it up off the counter. What if we went, he said, and if they cross the line, which they will, they do it in front of everyone. No twisting the story later. Witnesses. I knew he was right, so we went. My sister Stacy had been making my husband uncomfortable for years, standing too close, touching his arm, sending messages he never answered and had asked her to stop sending. My parents called it a harmless crush and laughed about it at every family gathering like it was an adorable inside joke. The worst was my wedding day. Mom had pulled Mark aside while I was putting on my veil and asked him, seriously, without smiling, if he was sure he wanted to marry me. She said it wasn't too late to back out. I didn't find out until our honeymoon. When I called her, she said she would have said the same thing to any groom. We both knew that was a lie. So tonight, we walked into the banquet hall knowing exactly what kind of family we were dealing with. We just needed them to prove it in front of everyone else. For the first hour, things stayed polite. Dinner was served. Dad gave a toast. Mom cried at the right moments. People talked about property taxes and grandkids. Then my aunt turned to Stacy and asked, innocently enough, if she had a boyfriend. The table went quiet. Everyone looked at Stacy, and my mother lit the match. She laughed, that high tinkling laugh, and pointed her fork at Mark. Oh, I don't know about a boyfriend, she announced, loud enough for the whole table, but she's got a huge crush on her sister's husband. A few people chuckled uncomfortably. Mom leaned toward my aunt, expanding the story. Like Stacy's fixation on my husband was an adorable family anecdote. Stacy sat there blushing, soaking it in like it was praise. My aunt, smiling and oblivious, turned to Mark. Well, do you have any handsome brothers or cousins you could set Stacy up with? I set my fork down with a sharp clink. How dare you, I said. The table went silent. I looked at my mother. You promised me. Both of you. You swore you'd respect our marriage. I looked around the table. How many of you think it's okay for a mother to mock her daughter's marriage in front of 30 guests? People looked down at their plates. I turned to Stacy. You have been making my husband uncomfortable for years, and you sit there letting Mom announce your crush like it's something to be proud of. Mom recovered first. Brenda, it was just a joke. An innocent crush. We've always joked about it. She is a grown woman, Mom. There is nothing innocent about it. You're making a scene, she said softly, looking around for sympathy. I didn't mean to offend anyone. That was when Mark spoke. He had been silent through all of it. He leaned forward slightly. His voice was calm, almost conversational. Oh, I get it, Carol, he said. Since everything is a joke to you, I guess what happened with the neighbor was just for fun too, right? The room went completely still. My mother froze. Dad's jaw went slack. My aunt's hand stopped halfway to her mouth. Mark didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. When you betrayed your own marriage with him, was that all for laughs? The secret had been buried for years. Dad had known and chosen to forgive it. I'd told Mark once, late at night, in one of those painful conversations where old wounds surface because you trust the person beside you. Now it sat in the middle of a banquet hall in front of everyone. Mom's victim act vanished. You have no right, she screamed, pointing at Mark with a shaking finger. Dad shot to his feet, but it was too late. Everyone had heard it. There would be no rewriting this story, no twisting the narrative, no calling us dramatic in private phone calls to relatives who hadn't been there. They were all right there. Mark had given my mother exactly what she'd given me for years, the truth, out loud, in front of witnesses. Full story on channel, link below.